Hello and welcome. I hope you're doing very well today. How are you? And we have got a little bit to talk about tonight. Hello, short order. How are you going? It's pretty crazy. Yes, apparently there's a pregnant dugger expecting twins, and KJ did a video giving us all the birds and giving everyone the talk on the birds and the bees as to how twins are made. It's fascinating. Plus, she's spoken. It is freezing, isn't it? I've got my heater on again. Although I just got notification the gas bill's going up again, and that got me onto a rant. I was like ranting to my mother yesterday. She was complaining about the fact the bills are going to go up, and I said, "But all the gas that we get from Australia goes overseas, and then we buy it back." Which was my rant. You know, we should just keep it and use it for ourselves. Then we won't have a shortage. But yes, I don't know what it was like where you live, short order, but it wasn't necessarily cold. It was the wind. The wind today was icy. It was an icy cold wind today. It was not nice. So yeah. Hello to who's just coming in. So let's look at then we might look at see if there's clips up. Dr. Joy sounds bad. It is, and she's also had a go at Ryan, and she's had to defend Gypsy today. So, so she had Ginger and Jeremy. Ginger and Jeremy have sold the house. They purchased less than 2 years ago, moved back into housing owned by the Masters Seminary. The couple have moved into a home purchased by TMU in 20 for their upperclassmen. The home is supposed to be a communal living for students, but it appears they're moving in as a solo family. Prior to purchasing the home, the couple lived in a home owned by the church. It seems their jaunt into home ownership has ended. Fans are speculating, which means she's speculating, that the couple couldn't keep up with the lofty monthly payment on their $664,000 mortgage. Jeremy makes no income from the school or church for his work as a graduate student. They rely fully on Ginger's income as an author and content creator. In fact, Jeremy has relied on Ginger to bankroll his life since they married in 2016. Incidentally, they are also suddenly back into hosting their own podcast with their cash lightly running low from their book sales. Jeremy, the man of the patriarchy, grifts off his famous wife. The couple put down $170,000 on the home and are selling the home for a tiny bit over the purchase price. It's funny, she's talking about her husband relying solely on the wife. Isn't that interesting? That we're talking about, she is hello, Leah. She seems to forget that her own husband grifts off his wife too. Of course, she's dissing them. You are right. She doesn't know anything about this at all. She is just. I mean, it wouldn't matter what. Hello, plan to create double standards as usual. Yes, we don't know their situation. So Anyway, what else is here? I know people are saying, oh, how long does it take to be in seminary school? You know, it wouldn't matter what Ginger did. It would be wrong. So, sadly. So anyway. Ryan Henderson has never questioned the meaning of Rosie Blanchard's gypsy baby to her. Huh? That says Ryan Anderson has never questioned the paternity of Gypsy Rose Blanchard's baby to her. Doesn't she mean to him? However, tonight on the live in front of 30,000 viewers, Ryan implied that the paternity of the baby is still in question. Well, let me just stay up there. The paternity of the baby is in question because until there's a paternity test, Ryan's legally the father. So KJ didn't say if they made a profit from the home. They must have, because KJ won't mention good fortune. Okay, so apparently his question, well, I saw a clip where he says he's leaving it in the hands of his lawyers. So it may be his lawyers are saying you need to get a paternity test and just make sure that you're not the biological father. Anyway, he implied the paternity of the baby is in question. Over and over, he said he would not comment. Over and over, he commented and suggested that lawyers would have to work through this. He promised the video where he would disclose the truth. Leaving it to the lawyer is actually a very good idea. Somebody else should leave everything to lawyers too. Just saying. All right. Ryan Anderson is not the father, and he knows it. This is exactly what we knew he would do. He's desperate to play the victim. He needs to go away. No father would go live to talk poo about the mother and then act like he might be the dad. He also claimed that his bad behavior on the show is Gypsy's fault. He accused Gypsy of making him look controlling and insecure. He took no accountability for any of his behavior. He admitted to being arrogant, cocky, and narcissistic. Someone says, I must have watched a different live because he was so respectful, never said anything about the paternity. He refused to answer anything about the paternity, anything other than he feels she'll be a good mother, and encouraging people to stop with hateful comments towards her. Even when he is kind, you twist what he said. He said now is not the time to talk about it. It's a wonder that comment's still there because that person defended Ryan. What's the deal with Gypsy? I don't understand this fascination. And then there's all these comments criticizing him. I hope the parents of his students take them out of the school. I'm glad that Gypsy left him. Even if Ryan is not father, the law in the state of Louisiana are very complicated. Gypsy better hurry and divorce. The law states if the mother is married and isn't the biological father when the child is conceived, or has been divorced less than 300 days at the time of birth, then the ex-husband is presumed to be the father. Gypsy is going to have a lot of issues to deal with. Not really. All she has to do is bypass that is to get a DNA test. You can do that in the second or third trimester, or now I think, or wait till the baby's born. Then Ryan's claims flies out the window. It doesn't matter about DNA, that's the problem. It's the way the law is written in Louisiana. Regardless, she should have divorced and waited to get pregnant because she's married. Ryan is presumably the father. Very strict rules. Weren't they married in Missouri? Someone says, yeah, it doesn't matter where you were married. It's where they may. So This may also be a control move, as he knows the divorce laws in his state, and he may try to drag this out via false paternity claim in order to exert additional control, financial gains to get attention. Oh, it's such a controlled move. You can be married in one state and divorced in another state. He did not say these things. I watched it. Go on YouTube. You can find it. He actually was very supportive of her and said she'll be a good mother and asked people to stop with the hateful comments. So everybody's saying all he's saying about, I can't stand it. So all of KJ's stands are getting into him now, which is really quite sad. All right, yes, here we go. Then she says, Ryan Anderson is a gaslighter.
Guys, I did see I did see clips from the episode. I noticed I made some mistakes. I'm not perfect, guys. I'm not perfect. It was a learning experience. I saw the revenue clip, and guys, what I meant by that, and I'm going to defend myself, what I meant by that was I shouldn't have said it like that. Honestly, I should not have said it like that. That was not cool at all. I should have consoled her first. I was saying, tell him it's revenue, like, so you can keep it, like, so you can, like, tell your PO that's what it is, so you can keep that going, because Gypsy enjoyed doing social media, like, I didn't want her to be taken away from that. And then I saw the clip where they said, well, of course I saw it, but they said, fine, delete it, but take the money out first. Guys, honestly, who would throw away $6,000? Honestly, would you throw away $6,000 when you can wait one day to get it? Like, because it was about to be the 15th. Like, would you throw away $6,000? Ever since I haven't talked to Gypsy in a while about her pregnancy. So, like I said, we're letting our lawyers handle our divorce, and I gotta just leave it alone, really. So, I'm not bothering her. Like I said, we had that one reach out moment where me and Ken got into it, and that was mistakable. Shouldn't have done that. But, it's more, guys, I'm usually not an insecure person. If I became insecure.
So anyway, you can hear, I have not heard anything of what she said that he said in that clip when I've watched it a few times. Let me go back to it. Oh Lord, please tell us, KJ. Yeah, she does. She does. I have to tell. I've only seen clips of it, and it was really bad. She's actually going to explain to us how you get twins, actually.
Guys, I did see I did see clips from the episode. I noticed I made some mistakes. I'm not perfect.
Even Gypsy's father made a comment about Christy's behaviour, apparently. Gypsy and abandoned men are like an episode of Springer. People need to stop giving them airtime. Anyone who stands up for this guy hasn't been close to narcissistic, controlling person. I'm so glad Gypsy saw red flag for him. I think Christy is responsible for stirring the pot. She needs to stay out of Gypsy's relationships, or the table will turn and Gypsy will start blaming her for issues that arise. I personally don't think that Ryan is talking too much. He knows he's messed up in some ways. She's codependent and needs someone. Ryan is just a replacement for Ken. I think Ken has some major skeletons in the closet, and he won't stay with Gypsy. People say Ryan is a clout chaser, but truth be told, Ken is a big one. All right. Just like that, Jim Bob resurfaces. The IBRP, children are a blessing from God.
So we have right now 16 grandsons and 17 granddaughters, and we're due for a boy.
What did you write down? What do you think it's going to be?
It's going to be a boy. So we have right now 16 grandsons and 17 granddaughters, and we're due for a boy.
What did you write down?
We're having twins. I know.
Girls.
That's crazy.
Can you believe it?
And 2 girls. It's gonna be crazy. Sure, we're ready for it. We're ready.
Wild.
We're ready. Yeah.
So apparently this is exploiting. So some men like Jim Bob become fixated on the number of children and grandchildren because it's an outward sign of how much God has blessed him. Really? Oh, so grandparents who talk about the fact that they've got so many grandchildren, it's a problem, is it? She says, I'm not making this up. Sources have told me that JB is obsessed with having the largest family and the most wealth to show the cult how blessed he is by God. Naturally, Jim Bob is running low on cash and he needs to make some more money. After pulling his rebellious daughter Joanna off YouTube, he has replaced her with Jana and now new golden son Jed to push his pro-family IBLP agenda. JB has all of his kids other than Jill locked into NDAs and has made them sign their life rights to his production company, Mad Family Inc. Jill Dillard revealed these details in the book Counting the Costs. Jen and Katie are expecting twin girls in early 2025. They've been married for 3 years. The girls will be their 3rd and 4th children. Jen and Katie have become enmeshed in the IBLP speaking circuit. They also both volunteer at the conferences held at the IBLP conferences in Big Sandy, Texas. Notable absences from the gender reveal are Anna Duggar, her kids, Jill, Derek, and their kids. The reveal was held at Jed's home that is newly renovated, while many of JB's kids live in trailers and RVs. Golden son Jed was gifted access to a nearly 3,000 square foot home next to the car lot. Meanwhile, his twin Jeremiah lives in an RV and Jana lives in a tiny trailer. Second oldest son John lives in a single wide trailer on the property owned by JB. Jed is JB's answer to Josh Duggar now that Josh is in prison. Jed and Katie haven't posted on their YouTube in over a month. They only posted 3 videos in the past year. Expect that to change now. JB has a new set of twins to exploit. Now someone said, if Trump gets in, I wouldn't put it past him to let Josh out. Oh, dear. So, without a lawyer, you can't tell people how many grandchildren you've got because it's right. Now we're going to clear the air on Gypsy. I am sharing this after several weeks of being accused of blindly following Gypsy Rose Blanchard and people thinking I'm putting out a narrative for her. I am sharing this with the full knowledge of Gypsy's family. 1, I do not blindly follow anyone. 2, of course, I see behavior and get frustrated. 3, I don't agree with everything she says or does. 4, I don't think she's a victim or that Ryan is a victim in their divorce. Hang on, isn't that different to the post that she posted before? Gypsy 100% played on Ryan's insecurities by constantly running back to Ken. She for sure fueled his jealousy. Being honest with someone doesn't excuse the behavior. Ryan equally was not the gentleman that he wishes and pretends to be. He's passive-aggressive, controlling, sexist, and controlled her daily life. She had no car, and he wouldn't allow her to leave the apartment, even to use the complex gym when he wasn't home. Well, she was trying to hook up with Ken. I mean, hello. Gypsy is impulsive, reactionary, immature, and takes the path of least resistance to get out of the situations. This is the product of her upbringing and abuse that she experienced. 8. Gypsy is socially stunted. She acts like a 15-year-old, but she's 32. Her decisions are rash, and Ryan was not lying about that. 9. Ryan sought out her in prison. He knew she had numerous issues and expected her to be a stay-at-home wife. She had no experience in life, let alone knowing how to live with a man. Like Mia said, any man that went after her in prison had their own issues. Ken isn't perfect either. His behaviour online hasn't always been tactful. Ryan and Ken going back and forth is tacky and trashy. They look like two roosters fighting for men. Gypsy is learning and trying to navigate life. Chitty too, and no one can tell her what to do. She won't be controlled. She certainly doesn't want her She certainly doesn't help her reputation with some of her comments and constant engagement with channels that hate her. I know all of the above and more. Still, I don't bag on her because I don't expect her to be a typical 32-year-old. I understand her abuse in history and mental health issues. She also can't learn if she doesn't make mistakes and make her own choices. She's held accountable constantly by her family and parole. Hey there, Gracie. Sad part is these mistakes now include a child. This child will suffer from her mistakes. You said it yourself, she's like on the TikTok of Ken's. Really? The refrigerator's filthy? Oh, okay. She's like that of a 15-year-old. She acts like a child and is going to have one. And I hope she does a lot of growing before the little one arrives. Katie Joyce says she will do what she will do. All I can do is hope for the best. She has a supportive family, a therapist, attorney, and PR team. I recommend that she quit going live because 99% of her problems are spurred from her lives. There you go. Hello, Mama Kay. Oh, really? It was banned, was it? So someone else says, I feel she moved too fast with both Ryan and kid and now pregnant. I think she should have come out of prison years and years and years and years of therapy, then be able to get on with her life less than a year. She was married, divorced, pregnant. She's had surgery. She's had her own father say Christy, his wife, pushed her back with somebody who dumped her. Then I feel she should stay with her dad and get therapy she needed because it took a long time of abuse that she went through. And I think she's just like her dad. So teenage decisions, and she's a 33-year-old go. What? What stole it? Where did my post go? I don't know. But she needs to slow down because there's a child in as much of her and can think they're just possibly 1% chance they're going to last. She says, read post. She's impulsive and won't make decisions like you. Stop trying to frame her choices on the mind of someone her actual age. Her brain is developed. Her mental illness and trauma impact her daily. But yes, the feedback her dad gives her is literally what she hears from the whole family. But she does what she does. But it's no excuse. Did Ken seek her out in prison? Seems like less is known about him. Hope it works out. Someone says, not to date. They were just pen pals. Ryan was seeking love from the start. To own reports, Ryan wrote to her on a dare prank because he was going to write to any celebrity, picked her because she was cute. Ken watched the documentary and reached out to provide support and empathy for what she suffered as a child. They are not the same. Oh, I saw that one, short order. She says, no, they aren't. Kenny's also immature. He's a lot nicer than Ryan and not as dramatic. I will say that. But she's never met them. They was engaged in prison, her and Ken. She even said that. So YouTube hates you, or join the club. They actually blocked my video. They've actually blocked my video with all the Olympic posts in it. With all the Olympic stuff in it. Apparently too many copyright things in there. All right. So now let's go to this, because this is where we get interesting. Looks like the realtor that had Miranda and B dancing on his properties knew about the doco. So this is the realtor. This enrages me. Why would he still work with them knowing this keeps Robert's little cult going? You are right. So, yes, they are upset because a realtor has employed 7M. Nice to see a realtor with no morals exploiting victims of a cult to post illegal real estate property listing. This man knows they are in a cult and watched the series. There you go. I'm glad you're having... if Shinji are close, why hasn't KJ interviewed him on the cases? It's a very good question. So now we're going to bash out a real estate agent, and we may be going, run your business with integrity, make that make sense. And they've tagged the real estate group here. Thank you for helping the dancers still inside this group too. What's this about? Care to comment? So now that they've tagged the real estate agent, this could be deemed as tortious interference. Because guess what's going to happen now? Oh yeah. Oh, you're glad we've got internet due to the worldwide internet. Yes. Oh yes, I hadn't thought about that. Apparently, people can't go shopping. It's funny. Everyone thinks technology is great until it fails, right? Jedediah's Doug's wife, Katie Dougie, is pregnant. We're expecting twins. We are overjoyed. Jim Bob needs money. Look who he sold an exclusive to for a gender reveal. Not you. Jim Bobby's back with the number of kids/grandkids because they're a symbol of God's blessing on his life. Just like that, Jim Bob resurfaces to exploit Jen and Katie's pregnancy. Oh, was it? BWS was open and working? Well, priorities, right? Jim Bob Duggar's delusional, what was that? Delusional plot to regain fame exposed with latest PR stunts using Jen and Jenna. Short order says she needs to stay in her own lane concerning business integrity. She should look in the mirror. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. Cody and Robin's oldest daughters cry out for help following family split, Garrison's passing. Yes, she's talking about minor children and posting their images all over the place. She's setting the record straight. I am not biased. Find out why. I think we need a new presidential candidate for 2024, she says. Well, I hadn't seen this one. But isn't Harris on the nose as well? I heard that she wasn't very popular either. So, there we have it. I don't know who put on the note illegal real estate. Yeah, I don't know who did that. Let's see if we can find who did it. Oh, that's Katie by the looks of it. Nice to see a realtor with no morals exploiting victims of a cult to post illegal. It's Katie. Of course it's Katie, right? Of course it's Katie. That's her stuff, right? Oh, of course it's Katie. Well, as I said, it's a I mean, in my opinion, it's a good case of tortious interference because she's accusing the real estate agent there of doing something of illegal real estate listings. How do you know? Okay, Miss Balls, I think I didn't even know there was an outage. It was following recent sunspot magnetic solar flares on the weekend, and it took some time to hit. Really? Nice. All right. Now, I haven't looked at this, but this is Miss Balls. All right. Ah, yes, I heard that too. That's a rumor. Well, it says WOACB is a fertility expert and definitely knows that to produce twins, you have to have one in the stink and one in the pink, because that's how it works. If you don't, you get a UTI. All right, let's have a look at this. All right, let's have a look.
Is a twin to his brother Jeremiah. They are fraternal. Actually, she has two sets of twins. She had Jana and John, and Jedediah and Jeremiah. Both sets are fraternal, meaning that she released 2 eggs and both got fertilized. Now, when it comes to a identical twin, this is one single egg that splits into two separate embryos. And so this is not controlled by the father. In fact, twins have no control with fathers. The fathers don't produce the eggs. And so the twins always fall to the woman. Women can have twins when they have what's called hyperovulation, where they release more than one egg at a time. In this case, she had one single fertilized egg that split into 2, and that actually is kind of an anomaly. They haven't research has never really figured out why this happens, and it's not more common in some families than in others. It's more just it happens from time to time, and when it does happen, there are different complications that happen with identical twins. So she'll be closely watched because of that. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But this twin situation has nothing to do with Jedediah, just to be clear. It is a
So it's got nothing to do with Jedediah. I've got no idea. I don't even know what CrowdStrike is. But I figured it's the something to do with IT. But anyway, I wish I wish the internet would go down in Minnesota. So how did you like that? Oh, CrowdStrike update is breaking computers running Windows, causing them to crash. Aha. Well, I have a Mac. Oh, okay. That list says they might have to move it into the tiny house next door to be closely watched. Well, I mean, there's another time Katie was watching. As I said, it's a history. It's a birds and the bees lesson as to how twins are made. Oh dear. So I'm assuming that Macs are okay. So I believe there are some great comments here. So let's see if we can find some comments. Oh. That's right. She did say she had to. Where's her post? Did she take the posted comment? She had a comment that was posted. I always thought the man bought the egg. That's right. So I knew you were kidding. Because she said she was taking down posts. That because Duggar huggers were like infiltrating. Oh, and law degree. Let's watch the whole thing. I mean, how long is it? Oh, it's 14 minutes. I wonder. I just don't feel I know enough about twins yet. All right, let's have a look. All right. After not knowing how women get UTIs.
To have, twins. But I never thought it would come true because there's already 35. How many
Kids, something
nieces and
like
nephews do I have?
It's 35 or something. No
Yeah.
one's had twins. Well, you're going to stagger. You're going to be boy or boy.
Okay. All right. It's a boy. Solid it.
I'm like, boy. Boy.
Okay. What do you think it's going to be?
It's going to be a boy. So we have right now 16 grandsons and 17 granddaughters, and we're due for a boy.
Oh, I don't see anything wrong about what he's saying. He said that they've got 16 grandsons and 17 granddaughters. I mean, he's saying, much time for a boy. Oh, boy. Oh, well, maybe we'll learn more about UTIs now. Funny, I love this funny intelligence stuff. Hey.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to the channel. It's Thursday, July 18th, 2024. Happy Thirsty Thursday if you like to do that kind of stuff. I haven't done that in years. I forgot about that terminology, but you know who doesn't get thirsty on Thursday? The Duggars, and especially.
What does Thirsty Thursday mean anyway? Hey, is that a phrase that she doesn't know? Is that another phrase she doesn't know the meaning of? Oh, now that should be illegal, calling her show topical, intelligent, and funny. Well, it is, because we're laughing, right? We're laughing at the lack of. Oh, dear. Okay.
Especially the women, because they're almost always pregnant. And now that Jim Bob has kicked his daughter Joanna off of YouTube because of her rebellious nature and doing things on her channel that were not in compliance with his rules, because literally every single one of his kids, other than Jill Duggar, has signed an NDA with him and has signed over their life rights to him and his production company. But now that he's kicked her off, he's got several other kids now back to posting on their YouTube channels, despite having been absent for a very long time. And who returned? His favorite son, Jedediah. Jed is married to Katie, and Katie, who could have had such possibilities had she not fallen victim to the Duggar family.
So falling in love and getting married now is falling victim, hey? She had possibilities, but she fell in love with the Duggar family. Okay.
Came from a relatively normal family, and her dad got sucked into the IBLP when she was a teenager, and her marriage with Jed was effectively arranged, and they basically admitted it because Katie allowed her dad to pick her suitor. And Jed and Katie were effectively strangers and they got married. And in the short time of 3 years, they have welcomed 2 children, and now she is pregnant with her 3rd and 4th child. Yep, that's right. Katie is expecting twin girls, that is. So
she sounds very jealous, doesn't she?
So it's really interesting that this would drop right now because obviously Josh Duggar's appeal was lost by the Supreme Court, and Josh Duggar, through alleged sources with the prison or whoever they're talking to, is angry at his family and is threatening to expose them. And so naturally, because Jim Bob is in need of money and likely wants to pacify his son, also needs to try to.
So is he trying to imply that Jim Bob told them to get pregnant? Is this what she's implying?
Push out media that is propaganda to flood the news cycle with good news about the family instead of negative news, which is a PR strategy. So if you're going through a PR crisis teams will do methods of flooding with positive content versus negative content so that the negative gets drowned out by the positive. This strategy has been implemented by Chad Gallagher, who is their PR manager, and has been used since the scandal in 2015 related to Josh Duggar. So Jim Bob is on a mission to try to make his family appear like the wholesome family that they were when they were on Counting On and 19 Kids and Counting. I am not shocked that Jim Bob actually made an appearance in this video. So Jim Bob Duggar.
What's he supposed to do? It's his family.
Was probably given more airtime than others when he was asked about what he felt like the gender would be of the child. And at this point, nobody knew that they were having twins. So they basically did this reveal, making people believe she was pregnant with a singleton, just coming to a gender reveal. And not only did the gender reveal the sex of the child, but it also revealed that they were having twins. So if you're aware, Jed is a twin to his brother Jeremiah. They are fraternal. Actually,
I thought if you are a twin, the chances of having twins increase, isn't it? Or because I know twins that have had twins.
She has two sets of twins. She had Jana and John, and Jedediah and Jeremiah. Both sets are fraternal, meaning that she released 2 eggs and both got fertilized. Now, when it comes to a identical twin, this is one single egg that splits into 2 separate embryos. And so this is not controlled by the father. In fact, twins have no control with fathers. The fathers don't produce the eggs. And so the twins always fall to the woman. Women can have twins when they have what's called hyperovulation, where they release more than 1 egg at a time. In this case, she had one single fertilized egg that split into 2, and that actually is kind of an anomaly. They haven't research has never really figured out why this happens. And
so she's saying that they're identical. Is that what she's?
And it's not more common in some families than in others. It's more just it happens from time to time. And when it does happen, there are.
Jim Bob did it twice. One VG. So is that what happens if you do it twice on the same day? So is triplets mean that
different complications that happen with identical twins? So she'll be closely watched because of that. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But this twin situation has nothing to do with Jedediah, just to be clear. It happened. But what actually makes me feel sad about all of this is that it's again just being used by Jim Bob as a means to promote his cult and his ideals and his belief that he is still this like good guy and a good father and has a good family. And I'm not going to say that every single child that he has raised.
Oh, only if you have 2. Only if you have 2. And what about UTIs? Where do they fit in here?
Raised is a bad kid, because that's just simply not true. But it's factual that the kids that maintain close relationships directly with him are still in the fold with him. And even if, say, they are kind of falling outside of the IBLP, they're still close enough in their faith and their belief system that he controls them. And the kids have been brainwashed since the time that they were born to basically obey their father no matter what. So Jed is a child that is staunchly loyal to his father. Jed is an interesting person, and I think you're going to start.
Oh, you know from KJ.
To see probably more from Jed and Katie, because Jim Bob has really designated him as his new golden child. Jed and Katie do a lot of speaking on the circuit within this sect of fundamentalism. They volunteer and are active parts of the IBLP conferences. Katie has been a big part of the Commit conference, which is for the little girls or the teen girls, which teaches them how to be good wives and mothers. So they have been Brandon kind of the next Josh and Anna for Jim Bob. And Jed was very loyal to his family. In fact, when Jill came out with her book, Jed was in the comments, like basically shaming her for writing this book, leaving comments about why that she shouldn't have written the book, and really downplaying what she went through with her family, almost to the extent of trying to like erase the fact that she's a victim of Josh. And it got him
Gee, wow. Who would have thought that a birth announcement she could dig in and make it something that wasn't?
a ton of backlash.
How many people do these film their reveals? Wait till you find out what you have to do for triplets. Is she going to go down that path?
Because Jill is a factual victim of Josh. And despite what he was saying, it's even the parents don't dispute the fact that she's a victim, but they justify Josh's behavior by, he was just a curious teen and whatever. But Jed won't look at it that way. He just won't. He takes his parents' point of view, and he believes that Jill should just keep her mouth shut and respect her father. Jill has written about how Jim Bob basically has brainwashed the kids against her and has made them feel like she's the one that's in the wrong and not Josh and not him. And it's just a way for them to stay under control by making her the bad person. So obviously at the gender reveal, Jill's not there. Derek's
We're 9 minutes in of a 14-minute video. What?
not there. The kids are not there. They do live about 45 minutes away. So it could have just been that they couldn't make it, but it doesn't surprise me that they weren't there, because if they couldn't get there, it's because they couldn't get there. But since she wrote the book, Jim Bob has been pretty adamant about not wanting Jill at any family events. He tried to stop her from coming to the Christmas party that they had, but it wasn't even a Christmas party. It was a birthday party for Jeremiah and Hannah's daughter, who turned a year old at the time. They tried to stop her from coming to that. So I think she probably wasn't invited. And I don't think that she's on very good terms with Jed at this point. But again, I don't know. She is so far removed from the family at this point. It's just, that's how it is. And then also not at this event is Anna or her kids. And that, again, does not surprise me. So Anna is so far on the outs with most of the family, even though Anna lives with them, right?
Oh, gee whiz. Once he following this. Well, that's right. I mean, it's probably a good thing that Josh isn't there, is it? And making it into something that it isn't. It's a beautiful birth announcement. I mean, it should be a time of happiness, but,
Right? Even though she lives in the house with them, even though her kids are being cared for and basically paid for and raised financially by the Duggars, she is so disconnected from them. It's hard to believe that you could be like in a family and under of Jim Bob and then get so disassociated from everyone. It's very strange. But Anna just is not on good terms with them, and she isn't there, nor are her kids. But she still lives with Jim Bob and Michelle. So she recently tweeted over on like Saturday, and it was about Trump again. So she comes out every so often to tweet her support of the former President Trump. She doesn't.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense, does it? You would think if she was on the out, she wouldn't be living with them. None of it makes any, none of what she's saying makes any sense, in my opinion. Can anyone make sense of it?
ever say anything else beyond that. So I do believe she maybe thinks that this will help her husband get out of prison. That's my personal opinion. Anna wasn't there. Jill wasn't there. And I also didn't notice Jana there. Jana could have been busy. I don't know. I wouldn't take much stock with Jana not being there. So it's a big family. Sometimes people can't make it, but Anna's intentionally not there. And so is Jill.
Or they're just not in the photo or video. Maybe she no, she must do.
What are the things that make money when you talk about family vlogging? When you look at reality shows, what are the biggest draws for audiences? Moving, getting a new house, renovating a house, getting married, having a baby, or getting a divorce. So when you're pushing wholesome family values like the Duggars try to be, even though the IBLP is not wholesome values of any kind, babies and weddings are the two draws that will get the most views for the Duggars. And he knows that. He knows that 100%. That's why I believe Jana was wearing a ring for the speculation so that her videos would get more views. So people could go to her videos to see if they could spot the ring. Jim Bob is not naive to how the game works for views. He's not naive to know what gets people interested. He's very astute about that. So he knows that by having her wear a ring, it's going to draw people to her channel. And now with Jed and his wife being pregnant, that's going to draw people to his channel and his videos. And then how does he even promote the video more? He gives exclusive access to People Magazine, to Jed and Katie, selling likely photographs of Jed and Katie to People Magazine for money. People Magazine says they don't pay, but it's all crap. They 100% pay. They pay for images, and they also pay for exclusive access. They'll always say, we do not pay. It's
How does she know? Has she been paid? Is that how she knows? Again, she sounds jealous that they got the exclusive and she didn't.
just bull crap. They do. Otherwise, Jim Bob wouldn't be running there. And TLC had this relationship with people. So it's just this natural progression for him. So when you start seeing like, where are the Duggars or where the Duggars are, that's Jim Bob like telling people to do an article about him and his daughters. It's him pushing that out. He's constantly working the tabloids and he monitors everything that's said about the family and he gets alerts on his phone. And it's incredibly important to him how his image is portrayed. He's so hypersensitive to that. So all of this is, again, him trying to reframe the narrative in his favor and to help people and try to get people to forget about Josh. And it's not going to work. And I'm going to keep talking about it so that people don't forget what happened. People have a short attention span and he knows that. And he is trying to bank on getting another show. So please be mindful of that when you're consuming the content. All right, y'all, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like the video. If you have something you'd like to say, make sure to give a comment.
She, I think we go to here. Did she put it in a tab or something? Have a look here. Yeah. It's really, be careful when you're watching the content. No. Okay, no, she didn't. She must have unpinned it because she pinned a comment. I saw a comment of it. But Robin's eldest daughter apparently is expressing concern. Who had something that I saw today about it? So, no, it doesn't look like Duggar King's giving her any more exclusives at all. It's a wonder she's got time to report on anything, considering everyone's beds she's got to get in and out of. So, You see, we don't know why people weren't there. You just can't speak on it. None of the other sister wife commentators mentioned this about. Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me. Look, there's a lot of stuff that there's a lot of stuff that nobody else mentions that she mentions all the time, and it's a bit frustrating, as you say. And I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why she like this Sister Wives one had 53,000 views so far, right? So let's have a look at this. Now the allegations that I've seen in all the different things like going around is that she's exploiting the girls. Oh yes, here we go. I've already been forced to delete mean-spirited comments that are bullying the girls. This is not acceptable. Please refrain from being cruel about the young women. They've been abused and neglected. Please refrain from disparaging them. I do not tolerate bullying of anyone. I am intentionally holding comments on this video and will be deleting all comments that attempt to disparage, bully, or insult the daughters. This is a serious topic. Please be kind. Thank you. So, which means she's saying she's only going to put comments in that agree. And so everyone's talking about how horrible Cody and Robin is. All right. So yeah, so all the comments. I mean, I don't. Should she really be discussing the minor children either? I mean, although isn't the oldest daughter Aurora now an adult? So let's have a look.
We kind of kept our distance. I kind of just feel shocked and confused and like she doesn't care. I don't know what the right word is. It kind of just broke my heart a little. I grew up with her. Grew up with all Sorry. Can we cut? I don't want to cry.
It's better when it's faster.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Thursday, July 18th, 2024. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. All right, I did a video a couple days ago about Brianna Brown, and we've been covering what is going on with Aurora and Brianna on their Pinterest boards and why there is some cause and pause for concern. And I noticed that Aurora.
Pinterest boards? Are we that desperate for content where I mean, is that now getting to the point of stalking when you're following all Robin's children are adults? The only minors are from Cody. Is this getting to stalking phase when you're actually looking at people's Pinterest boards, deliberately looking for stories? I mean, are we on the verge of stalking? Yeah.
Recently just posted, and a couple days.
Oh, sorry, I just missed that up. Oh, I just tipped everything out. We're gonna have to do it again.
Like super great and close because people had different opinions about the rules.
Without any rules.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Thursday, July 18th, 2024. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. All right, I did a video a couple days ago about Brianna Brown, and we've been covering sort of what is going on with Aurora and Brianna on their Pinterest boards and why there is some cause and pause for concern. And I noticed that Aurora recently just posted, and a couple days ago I was sharing about how Brianna is posting about parenting and having children, and it all is marked as to learn. And we were like discussing, is she pregnant, or is she looking at what she needs to learn as a parent, or is she sending messages to her mom and her stepdad or her adopted father, Cody? And the more that I'm diving into these Pinterest boards, and I realize it's Pinterest, right? So I know that anyone can post anything, but when I'm looking at their patterns and I'm noticing that the majority of what they are posting is that they're feeling upset, or
so she's analyzing their Pinterest boards. Okay.
Or overwhelmed, or having anxiety or depression, feeling like the world is against them. Understanding that they are in an incredibly oppressive home life with Robin and Cody both having isolated them from everyone, and knowing that when they were children, they were stripped from their father, their biological father, under the false premise that he was abusive towards Robin and towards them. Now, no marriage is perfect, but it's when you look at the history of what these kids went through and how a storyline was created by the parents to make the other parent look terrible and make that parent look like they're doing something they're not. The only input that they're hearing is that their dad hates them and doesn't want to be a father and was hurt their mom. They become brainwashed. And this is what the ex-husband, Preston, and their biological father, his family, and people that know him have told me, that the girls are brainwashed, the kids are brainwashed, and that they don't know the truth about what happened. And the truth was he was railroaded into an adoption he didn't want, and they had held over medical debt that was related to an.
So she's saying that she has spoken to Preston. Is that what she's saying? Is there anyone she hasn't spoken to?
Accident that Dayton had while he was riding an ATV under the care and watch of Cody Brown. And Robin and Cody concealed the accident and would not allow Preston to know the details about what happened to Dayton. And then Cody, instead of being the responsible one and managing the cost of that accident that his negligence caused, weaponized the debt against the father, and then basically manipulated him and strongholded him into, we'll surrender the debt if you give up.
Strangled him? Okay. Say the way that she talks, you just don't know whether there's any truth to it or not.
About the kids, it's unethical, it's manipulative, it's maniacal. And the promise for the kids was that they were going to be given this perfect family, that Cody was going to love them unconditionally, that they would be welcomed into this group. And Aurora was desperate to have connection to that family. The kids were young when they came into the family, by the way. I mean, Aurora was 7 and Brianna was 5. And I think Dayton was 9 or 10. They had spent some part of their childhood with 2 parents, and they had spent part of their childhood with their family in Montana. But once she joined the Brown family, that all ended. And when kids lose family connections, it's concerning, obviously. And then as the disconnect continued to happen.
Hang on. She's talking about the disconnect in the Brown family. Doesn't her child have no contact with grandparents? Wouldn't that be a greater concern of disconnect? Very hypocritical to be criticizing the Browns for having no family connection, and isolating the kids when she's essentially done the same with her own. How is that? How can she not see that that's not that that's how can she not see the hypocrisy in that? Or is she not seeing the hypocrisy at all?
Been in the family with the Browns, Cody basically said in the tell-all that because he wasn't getting along with his adult children, and because he didn't want his adult children to separate him from Robin, he was going to make sure that those kids and Robin would never go anywhere without him, and that they wouldn't feel welcome anywhere where he wasn't. Basically making it seem like those kids hated them and were going to try to poison Brianna and Dayton against him, and he wanted to prevent that. It's tactical of a narcissist to triangulate, right? So he's pitting the 2 groups of kids against each other. So they were promised this family and they never got it. And then that family dynamic was really weaponized against them by Robin. When things started to fall apart, she would say things like, they don't want to see us, they don't want to be near us. And she would put the issues that people had with her onto her kids. So because people had problems with Robin, then Robin said, well, they don't want to see
again, there's quite a bit of speculation here, and I'm not sure that it is all true or. And again, she's not somebody to be criticizing someone's parenting, in my opinion, because there's questions about her own parenting.
You. They have problems with you. When really they had a problem with Robin. They didn't have a problem with the kids. So the kids have been fed a lot of lies. And when they had their big fight over the text, apparently according to the show and according to what was said, they said that they had a horrible life, that everything had gone so terribly wrong. They never wanted to get married. They never wanted to have their own families. They were so hurt by how everything went. And it was basically all the other sister wives' faults and their siblings' faults for ruining their lives. So now they were promised this big family. They've lost their father, and then they've lost the siblings that they've been adopted into. Because legally speaking, those kids from the other wives are legally their siblings, but they're not being treated that way. So I've been looking at a lot of the Pinterest posts by the two of them because they do have relatively private lives, but they're on the show.
I've been looking at their Pinterests. Oh, really? You know what I do in my spare time at the moment? Editing podcasts. I don't have much time for anything else. Well, now I'm going back to it. Now I've got to go back to work. But I've spent most of my time editing. I don't have time to look into other people's things.
Oh, right. And they're both adults. So Brianna is 20 and Aurora is 22. They are adults. They are like any other adult. And when adults have public profiles, you can look at them. They're not kids anymore. They're not minors. And I looked at a recent pin by Aurora, and this is what it said. When you are hanging on by a thread, make sure it's the hem of his garment. A recent post by Brianna said, yesterday is heavy, put it down. A recent pin by her, Aurora, was, David didn't need to know Goliath's strength because he already knew God's. And the post is titled, When My Worldview is Too Wide. Another post she made recently in the last day, tonight I gave each of the girls a rock and a sucker, and I had them walk around the road and back with the rock and the sucker in their mouth. You should have heard them grumbling. They couldn't walk normal because the rock was uncomfortable, and they were limping and staggering, just trying to get back to me. We then came back.
So, guess who's trying to call me again? Yes, Harrison, you're on loudspeaker, and I'm on a live stream. Hello, Harrison. I'm on the live, and you're on speaker. So no swearing, Harrison.
What's up, Chuck?
No swearing, Harrison.
Oh, yeah? Why do you answer?
Because I figured you would just keep me if I didn't answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You going to the footy tomorrow?
Yeah.
Where?
I don't know.
Well, you don't know where?
No, I don't know where. I'm not driving. I can't remember. There's so much stuff in my brain.
How just cross?
All right.
What'd you learn?
What did I learn? I didn't learn anything, mate.
No, the students.
Oh.
He tests you.
Huh?
Apparently I test you.
Why?
Without a lawyer, just sit there.
Yes. He does test me. Yep. Well, the theory was yesterday that he knows that I'm online and he that you check that I'm online before he rings. Yeah, see, we got you sussed out. He goes, I'm going to interrupt this phone call. I'm going to interrupt this live. You say, tell your family to not fight in the background because you're on a live, like that I'm live and the whole world can hear them. Yes, Harrison. No, I'll watch it when I get home. Because I won't have internet when I go. Yeah, tell your whole family that they can be heard in America. Yeah. We're just watching a Katie video. Do you know about the birds and the bees, Harrison? That's okay then. Good. That's all right. You don't need to know. Oh dear. He doesn't need, he doesn't need to know about the birds and the bees, does he? All right. All right. See ya. Let me tell you about the birds and the bees, flowers and trees. All right, let's go back to this. All right, sorry about that, guys. Oh dear. Oh.
Inside, and I asked them what it was like for them to walk that. The answer, but most talked about how hard it was to walk around with a rock in their shoe. Nobody mentioned how sweet the sucker was in their mouth. We often fail to realize God's blessings because we put too much focus on the struggles of our lives. It's kind of icky to think about a parent intentionally like hurting a child by putting a rock in a shoe just to prove a point, but that's neither here nor there. The tone of these posts are they are overwhelmed, anxious, and not happy. And it's very clear that Aurora and Brianna are dealing with likely the fallout of what's happening in their family and the isolation that they're experiencing. And I know that there has been hurt from everyone. And I know that the kids that are not connected to Robin are not able to reach them. That family, like Preston's family, is not able to reach them. And it just makes me wonder, like Cody and Robin do not believe in mental health medication or pharmaceuticals to like navigate mental illness and depression and anxiety. Robin has used therapists as a way to weaponize it against like her ex-husband and has used therapy to gain information about people. And Browns used a family counselor, but the family counselor was not doing a sort of psychological mental health care with them. She was doing more relationship management, which is
Well, they needed to do that. There was a lot of them to manage.
different than doing cognitive therapy to navigate trauma. Like she was not with the root causes of trauma. She was helping them by trying to put a Band-Aid on bad behavior and then have them overcome their habits and find new ways to communicate. But she wasn't offering like mental health care. And the AUB is they're okay with that kind of therapy. They are 100% okay with helping people communicate better. And
it's funny, she knows exactly what type of counseling they have. Does she go to the counseling sessions now? Again, just because you see it on their show doesn't mean that that's the whole thing of what happens either.
Do therapy that's like that, like relationship based, but they're not okay with psychological therapy where you learn about abuse and the trauma and you dive into your trauma and understand how to how to work through your trauma, work through your pain, and working on steps to manage your anxiety and coping skills. They're not into that. So when you already know that one child has died by suicide and you start to see things from other kids like this, and you know a show is about to come on the air, it's like watching a tiny little flame that's about to like explode. And I just wonder if any of the family, Kelty, for instance, anyone that even has access to them could reach out to them and be like, are you okay? Is everything all right? There's a lot of conflict in this family and there's a lot of unresolved feelings. And you would have thought what happened with Garrison would have been a wake-up call.
She hasn't just gone there again. No way. Seriously. Let him rest. Maybe they're trying to deal with okay, that is the trauma that one time you believe in repressed memory and the next week you don't. Correct. Like maybe they're struggling with the fact they lost their brother. It may have nothing to do with anything that you're saying. But,
for them all to sort of try to put their differences aside and understand what the big picture is, which is that your family is your family and forgive one another. You don't have to forgive like.
Did you just listen? She just said
feelings. And you would have thought what happened with Garrison would have been a wake-up call for them all to try to put their differences aside and understand what the big picture is, which is that, your family is your family and forgive one another. You don't have to forgive like your abusers, by the way. But if your siblings are not abusive to you and you weren't abusive to them, like if you have disagreements, like forgiving one another for those. And I wonder, like, they all have had the same experience. They've all had to deal with Cody, right? Every single one of them. And they've all likely had dysfunctional relationships with their moms in some capacity. Imagine if they all came together and could support one another. It would be amazing. It reminds me a lot of how the Duggars cult has separated everyone from.
Exactly, Plan to Create. She just said hypocrite. I mean, she doesn't talk to her own family. How can she be talking about how the Duggars how the Browns interact with each other when she doesn't interact with her own family? Wow.
From Anna, and none of them are standing up for Anna's kids to see if Anna's kids are going to be okay, right? Like no one's advocating for Anna's kids to get proper services through CPS and to ensure that the kids have not been abused by Josh, right? Nobody's advocating for that in the family other than like extended family, but no one immediately, like none of Josh's siblings. And then I see this again with the Brown family where you have kids making these kinds of posts where they're clearly depressed and struggling and nobody seems to be reaching out because the narcissist has pit them all against each other and divided them. It's so sad. I hope that, and I know that the season is about to be announced because Christine and Janelle are in Los Angeles and they announced the season of Sister Wives on July 13th, 2020. TLC does their announcements typically this specific week for the next month. They're going to be announcing what's coming up in August. And I believe Sister Wives will probably come up on the end of August like it did last year. And Christine and Janelle are in LA, which makes me feel like they're probably doing.
Mary said that there was that it was happening. Weeks ago. Hello, Hamilton Rodriguez.
Doing press, like because when the seasons are announced, they generally have interviews that come out from the various outlets about what we can expect. And this season, even though it's not going to be heavily about Garrison, they're going to have to address it because it just happened. I want to be clear, like there's no Plexus event right now in Los Angeles. There's no other reason for them to be in LA, but to be doing interviews for the show. And recently Mary was like talking about how she had to like change things up and make a quick travel change. So
there's no reason why they'd be in LA other than for an announcement. What, so they just couldn't go for a holiday because they wanted one?
she might also be on that tour giving interviews. So the season is about to be announced, probably in a couple days. And wounds are going to be reopened and trauma is going to become public commentary because of what the show is, right? So as they get closer to the show, I hope people are mindful and respectful of what the kids have endured and remember that they're victims. And even if you think that those kids got something more than the other kids or whatever, they're all victims. And I hope that Aurora and Brianna know that like there's a way for them to get out of the situation that they're in. There's help available if they need it. They do not have to stay locked in that house with their parents forever. They don't. There is a way out. I just hope someone can reach them. So I'm sure that we'll hear soon about the new season. And I hope fans will be gentle with these girls with the season as it approaches. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, everyone.
Gee whiz. Wowzers. Ha! What are your thoughts on that? That is crazy stuff, in my opinion. Absolutely crazy. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, it is just so frustrating, to be honest, about how, you know, oh, here we go. We need a new intro, the learner lawyer, where you say more intelligent, more funny, more tea. Oh dear. All right. I'm gonna have to show. Short order cook just sent me an something. I'm gonna have to just show it to you. Let me grab it. Oh boy, it's funny. I need a new intro, more funny, more intelligent. Well, I think I'm all of those things. I don't know about the tea. I'm not really interested. Oh, look, at the moment, I'm really interested in the Trump shooting conspiracy. It was interesting today because I was teaching some kids, and we were talking about it, and one of the kids was telling me about their theory, and I tell you what, they're 12-year-olds. Gee, they've got opinions. Very, very interesting to see what their opinions are, though, because it's. Where are we? I don't know where I am. Does anybody know what day it is? Where am I? Up to no good? Yeah, up to no good. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I just sent myself an email and I can't. It hasn't come. I've obviously blacklisted myself. I mean, being up to no good is standard, isn't it? Harrison's just sent me a text to say you need me on because you don't have many viewers. He's like so certain of himself. Oh dear me. Okay, let's see if my thing's downloaded or uploaded or whatever it is. Yes, I've been listening to so some of my students have really today come up with some really interesting conspiracy theories about what's happened. And I said, well, where did you learn that from? Oh, my mum was saying it. So parents are very all right, you have to see this. I'm warning you, okay? I'm warning you. Short order. I'm laughing my head off. I might have to make that my cover photo for this video. That is classic, absolutely classic. Tell me what you think. Oh boy, that is so funny. Oh. Oh, it's now my cover photo. It's now my thumbnail. Oh dear, how twins were. I can't believe she did a whole video was telling us about how twins were made. Seriously. All right, I'll put it up there. I'll do it under oh boy. Oh. It's a good one, isn't it? It's a very good one. Oh boy. Oh, so yeah, that's now that should be now my thumbnail for this video. So hopefully, I just love it. Thank you, Short Order Cook, for this. I'll to give you a shout out for it. Oh, that was good, wasn't it? People, yeah. Yeah, I'm nearly on the verge of tears. Yes, it's now my thumbnail. So pretty good. So that's about all, but this is the comment that this is the one that I'm having trouble with as far as comments. I've got 2 issues with these comments. You're just a lurker, don't blame you. So it says, thanks to a loyal follower who sent this in. Oops, hang on. Why do I keep making it big? All right. So she's this one. What's this about? Care to comment? So this says, looks like, we looked at this earlier. It says, looks like the realtor that had Miranda and B Dash dancing at his properties knew about the doco because he says, watching Dancing for the Devil 7M TikTok cult on Netflix, and this SHIT is crazy, he says. This enrages me. So, we did see that before. And then, as I said, she has actually, if you actually have a look underneath, actually has she's gone to his reel and she's copied it. But she's saying he's got no, I mean, how can you say he's got no morals and exploiting victims? As I said, this could be tortious interference, definitely. This could be tortious interference. And this is my opinion, based on my knowledge of things. I don't know much, to be honest, but this looks like, particularly when you tag the real estate agent, it looks like you're trying to get some attention. No, I'm the lawyer. I helped my brother with something with his workplace, and every time they start hassling him, he says, "Do I need to call my sister?" And apparently they back down. His whole workplace is scared of me. Look, the realtor has every right to sue them because of that fact. The realtor would be well within their rights to do it, because and what has the realtor done? Has a different opinion to what they have. And it's okay to have a different opinion or a different view of life. That's what makes the world go round. He's allowed to negotiate a sub. Well, of course he is. And do we know that it's to advertise a house, or was it just for filming? They don't know the details of it. That's right. We looked at this before. She's made the insinuation that his realtor practices are illegal and that he's not supporting dancers that may be in the cop. Correct. But isn't he supporting them by giving them work? I think we looked at this guy before. So this is the guy. Let's see how long before that realtor's. Yeah, so it'll be interesting, won't it? I don't know if I should try, but this is his website. I also note that he's a person of color. So she's also going after a person of color, if we want to get technical. Huh? He's actually in a show. You wouldn't believe it. Guess what the company is that's doing the show? Look at this. Netflix. Netflix. Well, it's not illegal to give people work. No, it's not illegal to give people work. It's finally here. Buying Beverly Hills season 2 is now streaming Netflix. Wow. So are they now? Is she now going to interfere with Netflix money? How does that work? What do you think Netflix will do if Netflix finds out she's interfering with one of their people's businesses? Do you really want to go down that path? Because I don't think I would. Really? You binge watched it on the weekend? Well, he's the person apparently that's supporting a cult. Is she going to ask for that show to be taken down? I mean, there'd be a reason why he's on that show. I would suspect that he's quite good at what he does. Would that be a good assumption? You're right, short order. She is burying herself. Well, sometimes you have to let people do it. You got to let them bury themselves. He's only on. The other thing is he does have a YouTube channel. He's got 34 subscribers. So calling Netflix subscribers Netflix security. Correct. Yep, Netflix security. Yep. So he's obviously, is he in that show then? Without a lawyer? I'm assuming he'd be in that show because he wouldn't be advertising if he wasn't in there. So yeah, I clicked on it. It takes me straight to Netflix. Cool. But he doesn't have a lot. And in fact, one was 2 years ago, one was a year ago. I'm going to binge this weekend because only 22 degrees. Oh, come on. That's not fair. It's 11 degrees at the moment here. Oh, you call that cold? 22. I'd love it to be 22. Oh, I'd love for it to be 22. Oh dear. That's cool. You have winter PJs. So do I. I'm going to have winter PJs on too. And I'm going to be putting on another blanket. Oh, wow. Dominic Perrottet is resigning from Parliament. He was the Premier. Oh, he was he. It's funny that they all resign. I think Daniel Andrews has not resigned from Victoria. Have a look at this. Is this right, or is this? I hope this isn't a parody account. I think the I think Daniel Andrews resigned from Victoria, knowing the union stuff was going to happen, and he's left the then deputy to pick up the pieces for that. The problem is there's no opposition, so yeah. Oh, Hulk Hogan's a Republican. For those of you, I remember growing up in the 80s, and one of the things that we'd always see Hulk Hogan do when he was wrestling was rip his shirt off. Well, have a look at this. I have to say, it doesn't look bad for a guy over his.
What happened last week when they took a shot at my hero? And they tried to kill the next president of the United States. Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again.
Trumpomania. I mean, I have to say, he looks good for his age. Trumpomania now. So there's another conspiracy theory, and I don't know. Everyone's talking about it. So they're saying that there was another shooter somewhere else. So either this is the person, and the wrong person was shot. So they're saying this.
It's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
There, apparently. Here.
That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to
really
really
from audience member who spotted the assailant and filmed the shooting. So now they're saying there could be a second shooter. Here we go. Video shows dark figure on top of Butler Water Tower, which many say was a second shooter. It's just fascinating how there's all of this speculation because we still don't know. Anyway, the kids told me at school today that they thought it had to be something to make people vote for Trump. But I did point out that Biden wasn't doing himself any favors. So they really, although aren't they saying that he's supposed to be kicked out this week? Or challenged, or something's supposed to happen over the weekend? He's going to make an announcement. Do you think he's going to stand down? Do you think he'll be forced out, Biden? some political messes of our own. As I said, we've got well, and then, as was said before, Biden's expected to announce standing down this weekend, and the whole world shut down. I don't know. It's just everything bizarre. Maybe I'm just getting too cynical in my old age, hey? I'm just getting very cynical these days of everything. So last night I had the privilege of sitting up late and editing an interview, which was I put up this morning, of Melissa Wu. She's an Australian diver. She went to 6 Olympic Games. Oh, you're correct. Without a lawyer, the whole world is a mess politically. Unfortunately, money rules. Money talks. Nobody cares. I mean, even if you look at councils now, councils are all politically motivated. And she was 16 when she competed in her first Olympic Games. She was 13 when she was in the Commonwealth Games, when she competed in the Commonwealth Games. And she's 32, competing in her 5th. And she's a tiny little thing. She's not ruling anything out as far as she's concerned. If the body's good enough, if she's good enough, she will continue. Oh, I'm just cynical of everything at the moment. I don't, I'm becoming to be a bit of a person. I don't trust anything. Melissa Wu, short order. This one here. She's in London at the moment, so they're going a lot of the final training camps. So if those that aren't in the first week of those that aren't competing in the first week of the Olympics are all being based in Melbourne for their final training sessions, and then they go to Paris about 5 days before they start, so they can settle in and then get some training in. But this is Melissa Wu. She has 2 Olympics, 3 World Aquatic Championships, 5 World Aquatic Diving World Cups, 4 Commonwealth Games medals to her name. So she also owns a gym with her brother and sister, and that's what she works. That's what she does when she's not. So her results are right. She got in Birmingham in 2022. She got 1st. She got 10th, and she got 12th in the world. She only does the 10 meter. She does the synchro and the 10 meter now. So in Japan, she got 3rd, and they got 1st. She got 1st in the synchro. So when you think about it, look at this. 2008, 2006, she got 2nd, first Commonwealth Games, and she was born in 92. And then she did a World Cup 5th, Olympics, Beijing 2nd, and 6th. So she's got a couple of seconds. I mean, it would be good if it is her last one. She's very much aware that it could be her last one, and she's very much aware that she's now at the stage where she wants to enjoy it. So she's also the first Australian diver to make 5 Olympic Games. So I don't know whether she's doing synchro. I don't think she's doing synchro. I think she's just doing the individual, because they've got Keeney and Smith are going to do synchronized springboard. But that's the diving team there. You can tell she looks like she's really young. I've just heard back. I just this second got an email back from Diving Australia telling me how great the podcast was. So that's good. So hopefully, we also did the high performance manager Steve Foley. He went to 3 Olympic Games and has some great stories to tell. That one I've got to edit, and I'll probably do that one over the. But yes, it was a late night last night. Oh, it's very exciting. It is very exciting putting them all together. I must say I only half listen. I'm only really looking to make sure that there's not a big gap between the question and the answer, and I'm also just looking to make sure that they don't drop out on Zoom or there's no issues with it. I actually don't listen to it until after the fact, and then I make sure that the intro and the start and the end flow nicely in the right spot. So that's really what I do. Sometimes I don't need to do anything in the middle. Yeah. And for the inclusion podcast, one of the people interviewed on there got picked for the Paralympic Games too. So that's pretty exciting to have had somebody that was waiting to find out if they did get selected and then now has been selected. So yeah, I won't be on for much longer because I don't really have much else to talk about, to be perfectly honest. So the video that's been blocked, it got blocked. I've actually made it members only, so it was from the live stream the other day. So if you're a member, you'll be able to view it until I can work out how to unblock all the copyrighted stuff. Oh no, they've said it's blocked again. Okay, they blocked it again. So I don't know. A lot of my videos aren't getting monetized at the moment because they're saying that it's my topics are not suitable apparently for a wider audience. I don't know. Really frustrating though. So Steve Foley, the diver, he's actually said that he's happy to come on after the Olympics is over and do a recap. And the other thing that I'm talking about with Dan is that for him to do like a daily update of the games, and we're probably going to do it as a live stream through the podcast so that you can hear the updates as to what happened. Australia doesn't have a female volleyball team, or they didn't qualify. But when we go to when Brisbane in 2032, we haven't had a women's volleyball team since 2000, believe it or not. Because when you host the games, you get automatic qualification. You get automatic places and stuff. So we'll probably have a volleyball team. So someone's just said anything that's cloud-based is starting to fail at the moment, is still failing at the moment. I don't believe that they've got, I don't believe that, Okay. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it at that. I've got some other work to do. I want to do some more editing, and yeah. Oh, next Saturday night, not next Saturday night, the 3rd of August, my daughter and I are going to Queen by Candlelight. It's a quartet, a string quartet, going to play the hits of Queen, and apparently just going to buy it and reset your computer to Windows 10. That is fixed. Is it? Well, as I said, I don't have a Windows computer, so I got a Mac. I always say my Mac's better. Oh, it's just I just find it a lot easier to do a lot of the technical stuff that I need to do. But anyway. What was I saying? What was I talking about before? I forgot what I was saying. I don't know how to do it. That is my IT son giving me that info. Well, it's funny. My son is obviously okay because he's got a Windows computer and he hasn't come in complaining that he can't use it. So. Oh, that's right. I also have to film my latest plan with me that I've got to do. I've got one uploading, and I've got one to I've got another one to film. So I've got to do that. So I've got a couple of things to do before I head off to bed tonight. I'm going to have an early night because last night was a late night. It was a huge night. As I said, when a 5-time Olympian says, "I'll do your show," but it has to be at a certain time. It has to be at whatever time. You don't tend to argue with them. You just go. You tend to go. We're going to go with it, and that's what essentially what we did. We just went. We'll fit in with you. And she did it. It was between. She had to go to physio, so she had to go to physio. So she went off to. She had to leave, go to physio, and then do some training. So that's how that was done. And as I said, it was very good. That's right. You don't argue with champions, and you don't go. Nah, sorry, it's not convenient because they're giving their time, so you make it available. So as I said, it's if anything like what happened with the hockey players, because we managed to get a hockey room at Kookaburra, and they will all listen to it, which is good, So it'll get some plays, and hopefully it'll go up the chart. I'd love to get it into the top 10 if I could. That would just be amazing. And Aussie Home Loans is sponsoring it, is already talking about throwing more money our way because they're just impressed with it. I'm not going to turn down more money. I sort of said that if I could just edit podcasts all day and get paid for it, that would be my ideal. But anyway, I want to thank you all for staying around, hanging out with me for a little while, and I guess I'll catch you. I hope to be on tomorrow night. Either that, it'll be Sunday afternoon, and then I'm back to full days of work. I've got to try and fit 1 million students in a very short space of time, because apparently I'm very popular these days. Who would have guessed, eh? Anyway, I want to thank you for watching, and bye for now.